Hej og velkommen til Popaco-cast. Den her bonusepisode af jer i dag har vi lavet i forbindelse med Black History Month og fordi Twitch holder 10 års jubilæum i år. Det vil vi gerne fejre, og i den forbindelse har vi en gæst, og den gæst vi har besøg i dag, det er Findingkyky. Hun er ikke dansk, og derfor kommer det her podcast også til at foregå på engelsk, og det er jeg sikker på, at I vil synes er lige så sjovt. Så kan I, hvis ikke andet, kan I grine af mit gebrokne engelsk. Men vi slår over i engelsk nu, og så vil jeg sige hi and welcome, Kiki.
Hello.
Like I informed our listeners, we are doing this to celebrate Black History Month and the 10th anniversary of Twitch. And due to a lack of people of color on the Danish Twitch scene, we thought, hey, let's go abroad. And here you are. And we're also happy that you're here because you're also a member of the very cool Black Girl Gamers, which we're going to hear about a little later. But first of all, I thought it would be fun to hear a little bit about you, who you are and what your other hobbies are, etc.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for having me. This is awesome. I'm, like you said, my name's Findingkyky. I go by Kiki. I'm an online content creator. I'm a streamer / broadcaster, I guess you could say, on the Twitch platform. I'm also a digital artist. I'm a self-taught artist, and I have a lot of houseplants. I have about 75 since we last counted. But yeah.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah.
So you have a forest at home.
A jungle, if you will.
Yeah, that's nice.
I brought one of them along with me today.
That's beautiful. Do you name them?
People always ask me that. I don't name them like actual names, but I kind of shorten their name and name them that.
Oh, so yeah, makes sense.
It's not like actual names. It's just kind of like little nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of me. Those are my hobbies. Yeah.
Well, that sounds great. The whole, I gotta ask a little more about the plant thing. Is that something that's just been with you all your life that you just...
Well, I grew up, like, there were always plants around. It was maybe 3 or 4 years ago that I got my first plant, I guess you could say, as an adult, and then it kind of just went from there. I was like, oh, I can keep this alive. Let me try another one, and here we are.
I'm impressed. I mean, I'm struggling to keep 2 plants alive sometimes, so I think it's cool. Is there some? Do you have some preference in green plants or flowers or what's?
It's foliage over flowers for me. Mm-hmm. I do appreciate a good flower. Some of them actually do bloom, but for the most part, I'm really intrigued by the different foliage.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. There's so many different like variations, colors that can come out, and all just with the simple ingredients of, water and sun, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the variety is impressive, I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you can collect 70. I'm still...
I mean, I have killed a few along the way, but I've kept alive a lot more than I've killed. So yeah. It's a good balance also when you're in the gaming industry and the fast pace, being online all the time. It's good to slow down and kind of just chill out for a bit with the plants. So yeah, it's a good balance for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You've seen with the Tekken, sometimes it gets a little a little ragey.
No, you? No. I think if I should tell our listeners one reason they should go watch your stream, other than the fact that you're awesome, is that Kiki somehow manages to like really trash talk hardcore without ever being toxic, and I think that's kind of impressive. It's worth studying. So if you are like me, I mean, if people know me know that when I play FIFA or something like that, I do tend to get a little ragey, and Kiki is a good way for me to learn how not to be a toxic asshole when I get ragey.
You have to learn to hate the characters and not the people playing the characters.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
It helps a lot sometimes. You'll be remembering names and it's like, wait a second, this isn't even about that. Just learn how to beat this character and we're good. We don't have to worry about this anymore.
Okay, I have a confession here.
Uh-oh.
There's a reason I stopped playing Tekken Online.
Oh no.
It's a deep-seated hatred towards law.
I was gonna say, was it Yoshimitsu?
No.
Law?
Yeah. He's just...
So what happened? You have to tell us. What happened?
Oh, it was a match, of course. I had him... It was best of 3, and it was 1-1. I had him down to, like, I think, 1 hit. And then he did his law shit. He was just stringing 1 hit after another, and then with the whole noise that he makes.
It's always the sound effects.
Yeah, it's so annoying. He has like the most annoying sound effect, that dude. And I was like, after that, I closed down my place and said, nope, no more, I'm done.
That's like me, Yoshimitsu with his stilts. And what's her name? I want to say it's Lucky Chloe, I think. I'm still new to the game, so excuse me if I mispronounce any of them.
Yeah,
but
who cares?
I believe it's Lucky Chloe, who I think she counts when she's doing her moves.
Yep.
And that part is so annoying to me because I'm like, I know she's gonna count, but I still move every time and get hit, and it's like, it's I don't know why, but it's just the vocal aspect of it just aggravates me.
Yeah, and I think it's on purpose. I think when
it
they make
definitely
the characters, they think, how do we make this most annoying? How do we make this as annoying as possible?
Yep. It's like some of the developers were like, let's just put a little bit of trolliness in here. Just a dash, though.
Yeah, just a dash. And then they completely went overboard with all the sound.
They said that with the first one. Here we are, however many characters later. Everyone has at least 2 or 3.
Yeah. I think the most ragey... I'm going to tell you a fun ragey story where I was, for once, not the one raging. It's many years ago. I was visiting my cousin in Copenhagen. And him and his girlfriend were about to go off on a holiday in a summer house in Sweden. And I was supposed to take care of their flat while they were over there. And so before they drive, he says, "Oh, let's take a quick game of FIFA before we leave." And so we did. And he gets a quick 2-0 lead, and then I win with 3-2 in the last second of the match. The less strategic move his girlfriend had done before that was placing the bag with her underwear right in front of their door to the window outside, to the flat outside. What my cousin then does is he stands up and then he kicks that bag as hard as he can in anger. So the bag flies out, opens, and her underwear is strewn all over the parking lot. When she came in, I don't think I've ever seen a person that pissed. So now,
I wish you recorded that.
Yeah, me too, but it's so many years ago. That was before people would start, hey, I'm gonna record this while it happens.
Before the first instinct was to grab the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. That's wild.
Yeah, since then I always close my windows. That's the only thing I learned from
And
that.
uninstalled Tekken and FIFA.
That too. Yeah. True. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's a funny thing. I mean, gaming can really bring out the the most racy moment, but it's also, for some reason, we always come back, right? I mean, it's just fun.
Always.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with Overwatch.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the most toxic communities I might have interacted thus far online, and yet I still go back.
Yeah, it's a horrible community. It really is. And I actually reviewed the game when it just came out for the old place where we were before, and I remember giving it the highest score. I thought it was an excellent shooter, and it did something new. It was fun. It was new, and then half a year passed or something, and the community just goes completely to shit.
Mm-hmm.
The community in the beginning during the beta and stuff was excellent. It was fantastic, but it was like flipping a switch.
Overwatch was one of the games that got me back into like gaming. Like I really enjoyed it. My partner and I bonded over it really well. Like we would sit in, like, we had 2 setups. We'd sit like almost back to back and just be like, yo, have our headphones on, even though we're sitting right there, just communicating, you know, playing Overwatch. It was a good time.
Yeah. But
like, that voice chat is something else.
It's terrible. It's just terrible. And I think my wife tried Overwatch only once, and when they heard her voice, that was over. I mean,
oh yeah, there are times I don't even, like, you can tell people will come in. Don't get me wrong, there are good people in the community still. Like, you do still go on and you get into some matches and everyone's just being, decent human beings, but there are times when it's unfortunately the opposite. But there are times when, you get into a game and you're just like, you hear everybody kind of be like, hey, anyone have a mic? And you kind of hesitate for a second because you're like, oh, let me wait to see who else has a mic, what kind of energy they're bringing in right now, because you can sometimes, you can't always tell, but sometimes you can tell just by the, the vibe that they're giving off, that it's like, this one, I'm just not going to say anything. And it sucks that you have to, that's even something that has to be done, especially in a game like Overwatch where you need to communicate. Like, communicating can be the difference between winning and losing easily. No questions asked. So.
And it's such a weird one, right? Because, I mean, I think Blizzard are trying at least to make it an inclusive game. But a big part of the community seems to be like the opposite. It's a bit weird.
I mean, Blizzard isn't the greatest.
No.
Themselves.
No.
But I do see they've implemented things like I think one of the things that I really enjoyed was, if enough people report somebody, now you actually get some sort of confirmation if something was done about it. Now, I don't know how, I'm, hoping that they're actually truthful with that. But, if people report, I've logged on sometimes and, a message pops up that, hey, that report you did, something came of it, or some sort of disciplinary action was taken or something like that. So they could be doing so much better, but that's an example of at least something that has been done.
Yeah, it's a start at least, right? I mean,
more than what some people are doing, right?
Yeah, I think the only community I've met that's even worse than Overwatch is probably Dota.
And I don't even play that.
No,
some people, there's some games that some people just kind of steer you away from. They're like, maybe you shouldn't just go into this community.
That makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, and at times it seems like Valve is just doing nothing about it. It's like, well, and that's such a shame. I mean, and it's weird because all you're doing with doing nothing is you're making sure that you don't get any more players. I mean, you only get that silly core. Take a game like Final Fantasy 14, for example, where they've actually implemented things like you can vote for people if they do positive things, if they are nice, then you can vote for them, and then if they get enough votes, they get in-game items. And I mean, some people say, oh, well, that's just buying them to be nice. Well, that's better than nothing. I mean,
exactly. It's at least rewarding them for it. It's not like, okay, we're just going to penalize the people who are doing bad. It's like, no, let's reward the people who are actually doing something.
Yeah, let's incentivize not being a douchebag. I mean,
exactly. It sucks that it has to go to that, but I mean, it's like you said, it's better than doing nothing, right?
Yeah. Speaking of Overwatch, we had a new character reveal. How do you feel about that?
Yes. I don't know if you saw that. We watched it live.
Yeah, I saw it.
We watched it live on stream. Someone messaged me and they were like, you know, we have heard about, I believe it's pronounced Sojourn.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard about her for, was it since last BlizzCon? I think we've heard about her before, but it's still so, you know, I'm so hype about it. She's a black woman. She has locks, you know, like I'm here for it. I love it.
Yeah. It's about damn time too.
Yeah. I mean, I got really excited when Orisa came out. Some people will say, you know, Reaper is in there already, but most of his outfits, you're not seeing his face.
Exactly.
He's all covered up. I don't think it really counts. That's kind of
it's a cop-out.
Afterthought, almost. Yeah. Exactly. With Orisa, you know, I got really hype. I heard she was going to be an African character. Then we find out, I thought that, you know how later they did it with Ash and Bob, but I thought that they would do something where they would incorporate, I believe her name is Effie. Yeah. They would incorporate her, the person who created Orisa, into the actual gameplay. But you don't see her at all. They don't bring her out. Bastion has a bird. Like, why can't we at some
I remember that
her
was
some way?
Super disappointing. I mean, they did the whole spiel about, look at this, look how good we are. It's a girl, it's a little black girl. And then she's like nowhere to be found other than on like material before the release. I was like, okay.
And I think maybe there's a spray or something. I think there's a spray that might include her, but it's like, come on.
Yeah, and when you have D.Va, there are so many ways you could do it. I mean, D.Va is outside of a robot half the time anyway. I mean, then do a play of the game. Put her in there.
I'm a D.Va main. D.Va was one of the first characters I learned. I'm a healer tank main, so Lucio, Orisa, Zenyatta. Sorry, I just mixed them up. Lucio, Moira, Zen as my healers, Orisa, D.Va as my tanks. But now I've branched out and I'm actually able to play all the healers now.
That's cool.
Yeah. Even I think when they added Sombra, people were kind of saying like, was this kind of a, you know, supposed to fill that space? And that was kind of a cop out as well.
Yeah.
Baptiste is out, but I mean, it's kind of just a better, you know, what they probably should have done with Reaper to begin with. So. Yeah,
Reaper was weird. I mean, that was like, did you guys forget the black character? Oh no! Look at the completely masked guy. That's him.
Yeah, we found it like later too. It wasn't even right away.
No, no. I have an idea that he wasn't black when they made the game. That it was just like, oh shit, we forgot. Yeah, Blizzard. Oh well. As long as China don't call, I guess they'll do good at some point.
Yeah.
But hey, at least we get Sojourn. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for her.
He looks really badass, I think. I hope.
Did you see what? I was trying to figure out what if she was a DPS or if she was a healer. I couldn't tell from the. Oh, okay. I think she was getting healed in the clip I saw, so she had like the yellow aura around her with the pluses. So I thought she was. I'm like, I don't know if she's getting healed or she is a healer. So, but yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see what she is. I think I got some DPS vibes from her. I thought it was like a bit like Pharah with like some big guns built in some part of her body or something like that.
Yeah, her guns almost sounded like they reminded me of Baptiste.
Oh yeah.
His burst gun.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah. Now it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with her and with Overwatch 2 when it gets released. It looks cool.
Yeah.
And I think I'm looking forward to the PvE part actually. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, there's gonna be different game modes and everything.
Maybe that can foster a better community because you have to work together. I mean, maybe I'm naive, but I can. The guy can hope.
We can only hope. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Black Girl Gamers.
Yeah. Black Girl Gamers. First of all, BGG, Black Girl Gamers, it's a community or organization of Black women, really around the world at this point. It started off in the UK with Jayanne Lopez, who is our founder. And yeah, it's just really grown over the past 5 years. It started off in 2016. And yeah, it's been a huge part of my personal journey and growth on Twitch. I think I submitted my application probably a week or 2 weeks after starting to stream, and I was like, okay, let me get my application in, let me see what this is about, because it was like there's a platform or there's a place with other women who look like me who also enjoy playing games. It's even to this day, I'll be on Twitch and you find a new young Black woman on the platform, you're talking, and you realize they don't even know BGG exists, or you see them light up when they hear BGG, and it's amazing. And it still shocks me how many women are on the platform and feel isolated or feel like they're the only one there that's doing what they're doing. I feel like if I wasn't part of BGG, I do face racism, I face sexism on the platform all the time. But just knowing that, you're not the only one. There's a community of thousands of Black women who are also experiencing this with you, are there for you. It makes a huge difference. Yeah. I think that it's a really good community to be a part of. And I think that, it's not only good for gamers, but the gaming industry is so heavily dominated by men and white men at that even to them, they think that a lot of the community is dominated that same way. So that's when you get into you don't really see as much representation in some of these games being put out. You don't see them represented honestly or, accurately without some underlying stereotype, or sometimes not so underlying, to be honest. So I think communities like Black Girl Gamers helps out the community of gamers as well as developers on that side to know that, hey, there are people there are Black women who also play these games who, you can make games for, and know that they're going to be played, they're going to be experienced as well. So I think it's a really good organization to be a part of. Yeah. I stream on that platform every Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, there's a group of amazing Black women who go on that platform for 2 hours. I think there's 2 or 3 of us who go on every day. You can always find something happening on that channel. And, we're all playing different games. I play Tekken 7. I've played Apex on there. I get into my horror games on there. People play Zelda. People play Dead by Daylight. You can find everything on there. There's not even just games. Some people just go on there to, do some of their personal stuff. I'm into plants. There are women who are into other things as well. There's there's so many different women who are part of that platform that I think is really amazing, and everyone's doing some really powerful stuff for the community. That's really awesome.
That is really cool. Yeah, I can just say to every one of our listeners, go follow Black Girl Gamers. It's a really cool.
Go follow Black Girl Gamers. Do it. On Twitch, on every social platform, do it. Check out the women who are on there, the stream team, the women who frequent. It's always a good time.
Definitely. You spoke about some of the issues you've been facing, and that, like you said, like probably every Black woman on Twitch faces at some point, sadly. We know that it's been an issue on Twitch for like even basically since its inception. Do you feel there's been a positive change? Because I think Twitch likes to toot their own horn with how much they do, but is there actually any change? And please be completely honest. I mean, there's no reason to celebrate something that doesn't work. So do you feel there's a change, or is it still the same, basically?
I feel like it's still the same, and if anything, I feel like it's gotten worse, just because I feel like, and I don't want to speak for the whole Black Twitch community as a whole, but I know for those that I know, it's pretty much a slap in the face. Like, Twitch has gone as far as to ban certain words like simp, incel, but yet you're still able to go on the platform and spam racial slurs without any sort of global ban, any sort of global moderation from Twitch themselves. It's put onto the streamer, and I can say as a Black streamer, and again, for those that I know, when you start streaming, you kind of make this list of, you have to make a list of racial slurs and the different spelling of these racial slurs. And the reason you do this is because you yourself have to ban these words from your own stream. So Twitch does nothing to say, hey, even the blatant spellings aren't allowed here. It's up to you to sit. Imagine telling somebody who's experiencing these things that it's them who has to go and think of all these words, all these different spellings, all the different punctuations you can throw in it that can mean the same thing, that will, that will get around the ban, because it has to be exact in order for that to get banned. It's impossible to get all of them. But the fact that that alone is something that the streamers themselves have to do, and then Twitch turns around to say, oh, but you can't use simp. Oh, but you can't use incel. I think another one was you can't use the word virgin, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like, so, but why? Like, what? Why are you so? That's why I say it's kind of like a slap in the face, because it's not like they're not banning anything. It's not like they're like, anything can go. It's like, no, we feel that these specific things can't be said, but it's almost like they're like, everything else is fine. By doing nothing about those, it's saying that everything else is fine. And I think it's streaming on Twitch. You have to create your own safe space. You have to put things in place for yourself, and it's not right and it's not fair. I think that Twitch has the capability of doing more and should be doing more. I think enough people have been vocal on social media. There have been articles, you can easily Google it. There have been several articles where people have, pointed these things out, and nothing has been done. And
it's embarrassing.
If it is. And if anyone's going to say anything has been done, it's nearly not enough.
Mm-hmm.
At all. Not even close.
I think, like you said, it's just insane that if you think about, you can't use the word incel, but you can use all kinds of racist slurs. That tells a lot about what kind of a community Twitch is trying to appeal to.
Yep.
And that is both embarrassing and also kind of scary, I think. It's, I mean,
look at the amount of partners you see on Twitch that are, you know, Black, anything other than cookie cutter white. It's unfortunate. Black Girl Gamers had to go through a whole issue with that, where even I think the first time they submitted their partnership request, it was denied. But at that point, we had been doing events on Twitch. We had been on front page on Twitch. We met all the credentials. But you know what I mean? It's just that automatic hesitation, that automatic, oh no, we don't, it's almost like we don't want you guys here or as partners.
Yeah, and if that had been a group of white dudes playing Minecraft, they would have been accepted right away, right? You just know it.
There are people on the platform doing not the greatest things, but you know, easy partnership thrown at them.
Yeah, there are some reprehensible stuff happening at times. I mean, we've seen so much. We've seen people who have used racial slurs and get caught out, and they get basically a slap over the hand, like maybe if that. We have animal abuse. We have so many things that's happened on Twitch, and it's just like, well, if you meet the right skin color, it's like nothing happens really, or if you have enough of the right kind of subscribers. I think that's why a word like simp is also banned, because
think about who gets the words that are banned. Who is it that's offended by these words? Mm-hmm. If it's a very tight scope of people, and it's very telling once you see that who they're catering to.
Yeah, that's a shame, because that's exactly the people they should be trying to avoid, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that are making the platform what it is.
Yeah, it's a shame. And again, I'm gonna say it again. Please, if you're listening to this, go follow Black Girl Gamers. Try to be a difference. And if you face any dumb comments or racial slurs or anything, then speak up. Tell those people to fuck off. I mean,
there's really no space for it. Like it's gotten to the point where it's just like, I don't have the time for it. I don't have the energy for it. It's just, it's sad that there's still people who, you know, especially in a pandemic, there's so many better things you can be doing with your time, and this is what you decide to do with it. It's very telling of the person you are compared to who you're doing it to. Like, it says a lot about yourself. And sometimes I'll even say, I'm like, you must be having a terrible day, and that sucks, but this is not the place for it. So, you know, peace.
Yeah, I think the worst part about that is they probably don't even have a sad day. They're probably the type of persons who never had struggle in their life.
Yeah.
And I don't see how you could get... I don't see how you become a racist if you've ever faced any struggle in your life. Because if you've done that, then something like race or religion or sexuality or whatever shouldn't matter at all in your life. It just makes no sense to me. It really doesn't. Never did, but I mean, like I told you before this, in Denmark, a lot of people will tell you, well, we don't have racism in Denmark, and we do, and it's the underlying kind. It's like you see it with a lot of our politicians as well. I mean, it's always that, well, we have to make sure about the immigrants, and well, we're trying it to. I mean, it's always trying to cover it up, and those are the same people who are gonna. The young people, the young generation who see that, they get that education into their brain, and that's why they go on Twitch and they start to say stupid shit to black people or to people of color in general. I mean, that's because they've been spoon-fed that stupid mentality that we are different, and the only reason we're different is because we had some horrible ancestors who made sure that we got privileged and a lot of other people got shat on. But that shouldn't mean that we. That should actually mean that we should be sitting on our knees saying we're sorry, instead of the shit we're doing right now.
But that takes a level of, you know, acceptance and understanding that I don't think a lot of people, sadly, are ready for either. No,
that's true. That's true. Sadly. But yeah, again, go follow Black Girl Gamers. It's really awesome. I mean, I love the channel. I love your channel, of course. But there's so many really great creators on that channel, and it's also, if the core communities there you meet in those chats, I feel like are really good people. I mean, there's always the assholes that come in, but they are not the people who stay. I mean, they're not the core community. They're just assholes who want to make a mess, right? But
they come and go. They don't stay too long. Like I said, there's no longer the space for it.
And there shouldn't be. There should never have been. But
no.
All right. We've been through. Let's end on I guess a positive. So you've spoken about Apex, Overwatch, Tekken. If you could tell me some of your favorite genres of games or games in general, what would that be?
Ooh. All right. So I am a variety streamer, so I don't pigeonhole. I do enjoy a wide variety of games. I really tend to enjoy games that obviously have some sort of playable character that look like me. Anything with a female lead, a black female lead. I really enjoyed Horizon Zero Dawn. I missed out on that when it first came out. I recently played it, and I really enjoyed myself, and I'm really looking forward to the next one that comes out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, later this year. But yeah, any kind of story mode, adventure, horror. My community loves to watch me play horror games because they love to watch me freak out. We played Phasmophobia, Dead by Daylight. I did an Outlast speed run a few weeks ago that was terrifying, but
oh dear, that game.
it was a mess. But yeah, horror games, adventure games, I love them. I'm here for it all. I love my shooters, Call of Duty, Overwatch, Apex. I'm starting to learn. Tekken 7's my first fighting game. That's another thing. There are the lack of women in the fighting game community. Not to say that there aren't women out there, and you should definitely check them out. There are Kiki X Baby, who's also part of Black Girl Gamers, and she's an avid Tekken player. Cuddlecore is also huge in the Tekken scene. So yeah, there are a lot of women out there, and I was like, hey, I've never played a fighting game before. This looks cool. Let me just learn and see. And I was like, everyone said Tekken 7 was the hardest one, so I was like, all right, let me use the hardest one as, my practice, and we'll go from there. I also want to try out Street Fighter 5 and Mortal Kombat 11 will also be coming up.
Oh, that sounds great. Looking forward to that. Yeah, the fighting game, I think one of the reasons that we have a lack of female representation in the fighting game community is also because there have been some really terrible actors in that scene. Some of the really big players in that scene have done some really bad shit, but thankfully I think it was last year that a lot of that got called out, and I hope that we get some more of that spring cleaning of people, because we need more women in the fighting game community.
I'm hearing a lot more buzz with women and women's groups in the fighting game community and the Tekken community, and it's good as somebody who's new to the community and wants to get into it. It's very reassuring and it's very comforting to know that, you know, I am stepping into a community that, you know, like Twitch again is going to be very heavily male dominated. You're going to be, you know, not accepted as much as you would probably hope to be. But to know that there are a group of women there or people who are like you trying to do the same thing, it's always good to have around. Yeah,
we can just hope that more do the same like you. I mean, just take the jump, right? Also because the fighting game community doesn't have the best reputation either, just like Overwatch. But like I said, last year there were like a lot of people who got names, and I hope it's the start at least.
I think there were. I know in the fighting game community, but I know also I feel like the video game community as a whole really went through it. A lot of people got outed, as they should. But it was a good, necessary spring cleaning, as you said.
Absolutely. And there's still a lot to be done. I mean...
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine.
If I think about some of the biggest YouTube channels in video game right now are some of the worst people. I mean, there's some really bad apples. And YouTube, much like Twitch, might even be worse. I mean, some of the shit that people get away with. I mean, take someone like PewDiePie, for example. Some of the stuff he's gotten away with, it's it's a shame. It's when money means more than treating people fairly, then we end up in this situation. But the only thing we can do is the only thing we can try to do is put a light on and say, hey, please change this shit.
Yeah.
A good thing, though, the board game community seems to be doing a lot to change. The biggest board game site in the world, Board Game Geek, actually banned a few of the biggest board game designers because they had some really reprehensible meanings they shared on Twitter, and they said no. And I think that are the steps that YouTube and Twitch need to do. They need to stop being so...
Yeah, keep banning these weirdos.
Yeah, exactly. And stop being so afraid of losing money. I mean, why not make money on good people instead of this shit? I mean, yeah.
You can imagine the money you'll make hand over fist with the people coming in with these new communities and people who are like supporting the companies for actually taking a stand on these things. Exactly. We can only try to push, but where can people find you? Findingkyky, all social platforms. I'm on Twitch with the video games. I stream Mondays twice a day, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel, 6 p.m. on Blacko Gamers. I stream Thursdays and Saturdays 2 p.m. as well. And it's always a variety of different games. Currently, it's a steady rotation of Apex and Tekken, just because, you know, your girl's trying to learn the new games. But yeah, find me there. I'm on Instagram. If you want to see all my plants, check me out on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter. Check me out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you want to see the greenest page on Instagram, then that's a good place.
Keep up to date. Help me count them out.
Yeah,
I have to do another official count. I think I've gotten like 5 to 10 since the count of 75. I think. So.
That's amazing. Yeah, well, this was a lot of fun. It was great having you here. I think we're gonna invite you back if you feel like it at some point, especially when we'll do a deep dive of Overwatch 2 at some point. It could be fun to have you
definitely.
along.
I'm so down.
And yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us here. And thanks to all the listeners. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.